Start. Okay. Hi, everyone. It's been a quick 2 days. My name is Charles Miller, and what I'm going to do is try to describe this idea of Synernys. It was actually something that happened at the beginning of the hackathon. I was chatting with someone, and I had made a reference, and they go, "Oh, can't do that." And then they made another reference, and they go, "Oh, that's not good either." And they've done before. So I'm thinking, this guy is bumming me out. I mean, we're trying to get some synergy going, and it's not happening. So what ended up manifesting is Synernys. The idea here is to, or I guess maybe I'll say a problem. You go to an event like this, and you meet a lot of different people, which maybe you've never met before, first time you're meeting them. And the objective here, the problem maybe, is to try to capture, say, the conversations in an objective, be it simple way. Just, you're talking, someone says something, that was a good idea. You kind of capture that. You can continue to talk and kind of go into another part of the conversation, and it's like, no, that's not really good. And you continue throughout the course of the conversation, and this is capturing just your yes and no observations or reactions to the conversation. You initiate, say, tapping your phone or tapping your identifier so you know whom you're talking to at that point. And then you would continue to gather information. And then, say, you would move to another individual, talk to someone else, and you tap that, and that would kind of break that session up. So the data is being stored just by the initiation of, say, a new discussion would end the last one, and a solution. The suggestion here, the solution is to, I think I've kind of already mentioned it, just to capture simple yes or no observations with the use or by leveraging near field communications. The business model, I think, is to provide a simple mechanism to aggregate micro decision data. So you have an identifier, and then you have kind of this yes or no. There were a number of ideas that came back and said, maybe try, this might be interesting, maybe in a clinical setting, or basically at the end, it just provide a mechanism to capture, aggregate micro decision data. And other things may be thought about this. So here I'm, again, kind of giving an idea of the application or the technology that's being used. I was able to leverage the application that was provided prior to the event, kind of cut into that, added some information, utilized the Facebook developers API, and the data is being passed to Facebook, and it's being passed to Convey. So Convey is kind of what I would consider the main repository, but there's a kind of a dual messaging that's taking place. Convey being the primary data storage mechanism. So this brings me, yes, to the demo. What this is a picture that was drawn with the help of Edward. He helped kind of pull through the design aspects that it was very helpful. Let's make sure thank you. So now what I'll do is I'll go into the demo. So what I did basically I call it CJ Carr. I didn't get the right name. But while I was listening to the presentation, I was kind of saying, well, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. So if we look at what I captured during you guys' presentation, you see a tag history here. And you see that? CJ Carr. This is a way to query back into the Convey and just shows yeses. This is not pulling the yeses. The spaces are no's. So it seemed like there were a lot of yeses, but there were some no's in there also. So that's my interpretation, for better or for worse, of parts went well, parts didn't.
I always welcome constructive criticism.
And the thing is, though, it's just an objective observation, I think. So now what we'll do is we'll go back to, I guess, this would be how perhaps one would capture it. What I do is I have a tag, one for capturing yeses of Jane, and one for capturing yes or no's from Tim. Now, once again, we're not going to see the no's, but what I'll do is I'll kind of give you an idea of this. I would capture, and what that's done is what I've done now basically is I just captured virtually a conversation with Jane from the history we're going to see. So you see two yeses, a no with Tim, and then a yes from Jane again. Now, I mentioned Facebook is also part of this. So what I did is I theoretically, during the course of this, I simultaneously been posting to Facebook. So, see kind of, you see that? These are basically everything. This caption, the Facebook was both the yeses and no's. So I had, name, the no, or the yes, and it just kind of spooled out to, and now for something completely different. So that might be a good kind of finale. That's basically it. And, what I do is go back to the presentation. The last slide was just questions. And actually, there's